गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री Gurave Namaha. We are in Jnaneshwari, chapter 17, verse number 18, and we were looking at the last three on 251st OV. We just read that and we didn't see the what they say. And here we are looking at the Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic Tapasya, austerity. And we have seen that in the Sattvic Tapasya, faith is more important. That everything is for the higher. You're doing it for the higher. He alone is expressing. Then it becomes sattvic. Whereas in Rajasic, we have seen last week, what is it? What is in it for me? That is the motive. There is a motive, a selfish motive. And that's what makes a tapasya into a Rajasic. And now in the next verse, we'll see what is, or did they say already the tamasic one? Tamasic will be the next one. So here in the 251st OV we saw Ervi tari akasha mandi zo garjo ni brahmand fodi to avakalu me ghukaya ghadi rahat ahe taise rajas tapaze hoye te फळी कीर वांझ जाए परी आचरणी ही नोहे निर्वाहते गा आता तेची तप पुढती तामसाची रीती पैत परत्रा आणि कीर्ती मुकोनी की जय. He says the unseasonal clouds which appear in the sky make the whole world resound with their thunder. Yet do they last long? So all the Rajasic tapasya which we do, control of breath and or the pujas or the havans, one after the other, 3, 3, 5 hours. And I will add to that japa also, because japa is also havan only, yagya only. Japo, among the japas, among the yajnas, I am the japa yagya. Narad Bhakti Sutra says. So we put so much efforts, but whatever we put efforts, are we able to hold it? Are we able to hold the name, fame? Are we able to hold the money that we have earned? Are we able to hold the property that we have collected together? Are we able to hold the health? Are we able to hold the flexibility of the body as we are growing old? Nothing in this world can be held continuously. But in Rajas, one does tapasya, kundalini sadhana, pranayam, japa sadhana, everything, all pujas, havans, seva. Seva is also. All these, as long as you are doing the exercise, till then the tej will be seen, till then the siddhis will express, till then name and fame will be there, only as long as you are doing the sadhana. As long as you are single pointedly to the exclusion of everything you are working towards it, you will get the result, no doubt. But along that way, you will lose everything else. You will lose your peace of mind. What else? You will lose your gentleness because your sadhana, tapasya is desire oriented. Ghor tapasya. And there is no self control. And in this manner, Jnaneshwar Maharaj says that just like the seasonal clouds, for a moment they thunder, they rain, they make lot of sound, but afterwards they go away. Sky continues to be untouched by the thunderous clouds. Same way, this Atma that is within, it's unconcerned, it's unaffected, it's untouched by the tapasya. Your tapasya should be such that you merge into the goal, or you discover that goal to be the I, to be the self. But if that is not, when our attention, we are unqualified, so our attention is on the world, and when we do tapasya, then the result, naturally in the rajasic tapasya, what is in it for me? What am I going to gain by doing this? If I don't do this japa, oh, nothing has happened. 4 years I have been doing this japa. Okay, let's change. Because you have kept thinking again and again that this japa is not giving me the result that I want. This japa is not giving me the result that I want. And eventually a time will come in your life where you will stop chanting that mantra, and then, or the moment that happens, but you're seeking, so then some teacher will come, some opportunity will come to get another mantra from someone, and then you will start on that. See? And in this way we keep, इसको ऐसे संस्कृत में बोलते हैं प्रारंभ शूर. They start everything but they never conclude. Tapasya is like that, because after some time, many people, we have one person here, that person every 6 months goes on a diet and goes on a exercise binge, goes and joins that every early in the morning, they go for that military training, and she becomes 26, 28, 26, whatever the size. I don't know what the sizes are. Anyway, she looks beautiful. But within next 3 months, because she reaches the goal, she stops the exercise. Maybe for 1 or 2 weeks it will continue but on her own, but not that intense exercise as before. And within 3 months, she is back to her original. Then again, I must join again, I must get fit, I must get fit, I must get fit, again go into that. And it has happened for many years now. Every 6 months, 8 months, or once a year, I don't know, I can't remember. But once a year at least she goes and does that military training. Military training means these gyms, outside in the open parks, they do it. High-end training. This is what we do in our daily life. We want to be recognized. A person wants to be, if he is building the temples, he is doing tapasya. I am using my money. So, here Jnaneshwar Maharaj says, such people, who has remembered whom till today? So many people have come in centuries. So many people have done such great tapasyas. How many of them do you remember? Is their name written anywhere? They don't make an impact on, just like thundering clouds and the thunder, it appears for a temporary moment, and even if it appears and then goes away, the sky is not affected. It seems to be affected from our standpoint because we can't see the clouds, like now it's raining, but sky is untouched. Same way, this rajasic fellow, he is not looking for something higher, he is not looking for consummation, He is not looking for salvation. He is looking for power, control, name, fame. If that is possible, and that can be possible if I have 10,000 people attending my talks, then I am a successful person. If I get 25 lakhs as donation for every talk, then I am a successful person. If Prime Minister comes and inaugurates my talk, then I am a successful person. This is at the worldly level. Running your family is also a tapasya. Taking care of your husband or wife and children and parents, that also is tapasya. But is that tapasya purifying you? Are you doing it as a seva for the high, towards the higher? Or are you doing that tapasya that I take care of my family better than other people, other family? I take care of my parents better than the other people taking care of their parents. This comparison, when it comes, apne muh miya mittu, within our own mind, we are thinking great about ourselves. The rest of the world doesn't recognize you also. It's a disease. But we see, and if one exclusively focuses on some goal with a desire and puts the required efforts towards it, he can achieve that, no doubt about it. But the Rajas, as regards the Rajasic tapasya, his attention is on something from the world, something from within this relativity. It is not the absolute reality. And in this way, in the same way, the Rajasic austerity proves barren and its practice does not last long. But if that austerity is of tamasic quality, then it does not lead to renown in this world or heaven. So, as long as you are doing Rajasic tapasya, at least it will give you name, fame, importance, Padma Bhushan, Bharat Ratna, etc., etc. But if that tapasya is of tamasic quality, it will not even give you the renown. It will not give you the name and fame. It will not bring you the accolades from the world. It will not bring you recognition from the world. See, even Buddha, Bhagwan Buddha, even he, when he began his tapa, when he left his family and began his sadhana, he was looking, what should I do, how should I practice? And he came across anchorites, hermits in the jungle, and they were, this particular topic is for the next one, tamasic tapasya, it is not rajasic. And what did he do? He stopped eating, he drank only water, and his body became so thin. And yet you have to sit in meditation for hours and hours and hours and hours. See? And then one day he was so thirsty, he got up and went to the lake to get the water, and there he came across a Vaishya. And that Vaishya said, why are you look young, why are you behaving like this, not eating, what? I am doing sadhana, I want nirvana. He said, how? She told him, how can you get nirvana without the body? He says, that is right. He says, she said, unless and until you don't take care of the body, only with the body you will be able to do your practices. Then he started thinking, what should I do? Then he came up with the balanced path, the balanced approach. See? But that sadhana which he did was tamasic. So, in Rajasic sadhana, it is the attitude which matters. In Sattvic sadhana, it was done with Shraddha towards the divine. in Rajasic sadhana, the attitude is what is in it for me, and that makes a tapasya a Rajasic tapasya. Now let's see what is in the 19th verse, the tamasic tapasya. Mudhagrahenatmano yat kriyate tapaha parasyotsādanārtham va tattamasamudahrutam मूढग्राहेणात्मनो यत् पीडया क्रियते तपः परस्योत्सादनार्थं वा तत्तामसमुदाहृतम्. The austerity which is practiced under a wrong notion of self-torture or the destruction of others is said to be of tamas quality. So in this, what will come under this category? One example I gave you before reading this verse, which was of Buddha. Other is, in Christians they practice the Lent period, or in Islam there is this Muharram where they take the chains and hit themselves. And in Malaysia there is one festival, Pusam or something, and there people, and in India also Thai Pusam, and there people, all the Hindus, young, they go into trance and they put swords into their mouth, they put spears through their cheek and coming out the other way, and nothing happens to them. They are absolutely fine afterward, no blood, nothing. The people, you go during Muharram, they take the chains and they keep hitting themselves like crazy, blood coming out from the back, skin getting peeled away. But they are in trance, they are not. The Aghoris sitting on the dead corpse and doing their sadhana, that tamasic. Those people in the name of puja giving sacrifice of animals, tamasic tapasya. See, such people are deluded people. They come to wrong conclusions in life, and without using their discrimination, they are just following because their parents did it, or because other people did it, or someone put a fear in their mind, so they did it. Jnaneshwar Maharaj says, केवळ मूर्खपणाचा वारा जीवीत घेऊन धनुर्धरा नाम ठेविजे शरीरा वैरियाचे पंचाग्नीची दडगी खोलवी जती शरीरा लागी का इंधन कीजे हे आगी आतू लावी माथा जाळी जती गुगळू पाठी घाली जती गळू आग जाळीती इंगळू जळत भीता दवडोनी श्वासोच्छ्वास कीजती वायांची उपवास का घेपती धूमाचे घास अधोमुखे हिमोदके आकंठे खडके सेविजती तटे जितया मासांचे विचिमुटे तोडिती जेथ ऐसी नाना परी हे काया घाय सुता पै धनंजया तप कीजे नाशावया पुढिला ते आंग भारे सुटला धोंडा आपण फुटोनी होय खंड खंडा का आड जालिया ते रगडा करी जैसा. Jnaneshwar Maharaj says, O Arjar, O Dhanurdhara, some persons out of foolishness treat their body as the enemy and perform sacrifices in the following way. See? In Vedanta, also this sadhana is given. I am not the body, I am not the breath, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect. It doesn't mean that you have become enemy of the body, breath, mind, intellect. Those words are used to exercise control over these faculties so that I, the person, do not get disturbed on account of the body, the senses, the breath, the mind, the intellect. That control or the lordship over the faculties is not out of hatred, is not out of a view to destruct. See? But here he feels that there is hunger. So I was not, why this body is like this? Why I am breathing in and out? There should be kumbhak all the time. So then there is no breath in and breath out. Then what will be there? Kumbhak. What will happen when there is kumbhak? There is no hunger and thirst. Artificial. It is not natural living. Pranayama is artificial. Yoga is artificial. Japa also is artificial. Puja is artificial. Havan is artificial. Then what is real if everything is artificial? Only the Paramatma is real. And that you are. And you don't need to do anything in order to get to it. Anyway, we keep that point separate. It came up. But here, he is very, very jada oriented. Jada vastu. Jada is the body. So he is focused on that, and therefore here he says that some apply the flame of life, 5 sacred fires, Pancha Agni, and scorch the body like firewood. I given you this example. There was one Swami Satyananda Saraswati. He was the one of the 14 jewels of Swami Shivananda Divine Life Society. Chinmayanandji was one, Yoganandji was one, Hariharanandji was one, this Satyananda also was one, Chidanandji was one. This Satyanand, he started this Siddha Yoga, not Siddha Yoga, what? Satyananda Ashram in Australia. He was more popular in Australia. But towards the end of his life, when he was about 65 something, he decided enough. He handed over and he wanted to do sadhana, because whole life, after having studied in the ashram, that enthusiasm was there that I have to spread. See, Rajasic. I have to make a name. I have to spread the knowledge of yoga to everyone. I have to have disciples. I must be recognized. And when the body started collapsing, then he gave up everything, handed it over to one of his disciples, and from his ashram in Bihar, in Munger, 12 kilometers away in the jungle, he built a small hut, Parnakuti, and lived there. And for 8 years, he did the sadhana of this Panchagni Tap. Sun on the top and 4 fires around him. See, it's not something that you and me can do it, but he did it. See? And it took him 8 years to realize. It took him 8 years to realize. This is my interpretation, okay? I don't know what he realized. Then he gave up that sadhana. Maybe that period of sadhana of Panchagni Tap was required in order to then move on to the next level of sadhana. And the realization, but it took him 8 years to realize that by doing this, Paramatma is not possible. And then, after having left the Panchagni Tap, Then he held on to Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram mantra. See? So first, where his attention was when he was doing Panchagni Tap? He was torturing his body by the fire and the sun 8 hours a day for 8 years or 7 years, whatever the time was. I can't remember. See? And after that came to the name. So this is the first one for Panchagni Tap. Then in the 256th OV, some keep a pan on their head and burn fragrant gum in it, or pierce their backs with iron hooks, or scorch their bodies by keeping blazing fire around themselves. Some people sit in the middle of the fire. Some people use those chains with hooks to rip their skin out. As I mentioned before, in the Lent period or in Muharram, they suspend breathing and observe fasts. See? You may do fast, Ekadashi, Vrat, and Ganesh Chaturthi, and now Navratri is going on. As our Swamiji says, important thing is keep your stomach full and mind empty. But what do? We keep the stomach empty and mind full, continuously thinking only of food, in the name of tapas. Look at all those people who do fasting. They are only thinking, कल साबुदाना का वड़ा बनाए, के सिंगाड़े का पकोड़े बनाए, के आलू की सब्जी with all these ingredients. One day before they are planning the menu only. See? So even fasting is being told here as tamasic tapasya, because it is with regards to the body. Your attention is towards the body. If you are really doing tapasya, fast means upavas. Upa means near, Upanishad. Upa means near. Vas means to sit or live. Near what? Near the Lord. So when you do upvas, you must be sitting near the Lord, continuously thinking about Him, and not thinking about what the special dish you are going to make on the fasting day. And that day you are more chidchida, frustrated. Everyone has to stay away from you. Why? Oh, fasting. And they have observed, the day you fast, you are more high strung. Other days you are okay, because tummy is full. So the day before the fast begins, that night you will overeat. On the fasting day you will make special dishes. And then on the fasting day night, you will overeat again because, oh, I fasted the whole day. Yeah, oh, height of stupidity. This is all tamasic sadhana, tamasic tapasya. It is very easy to do these type of sadhanas, where you force yourself, I am not going to eat for 9 days. It is much difficult that I am going to eat only this much for breakfast, this much for lunch, and only this much for dinner for 365 days a year. That is much more difficult. Because for that you have to be disciplined for the entire span of the year. 9 days is very easy. You put your mind to it, you know, you are only counting, अरे अभी सिर्फ 7 days are left, oh 8 days are 6 days are left, oh 5 days are left, and you are waiting to have party on the Dashera day. You live day in and day out in a disciplined manner, then see how spiritual unfoldment will not happen. body will be light, mind will be ever fresh, inspired, no fasting required. I am not saying it, Bhagavad Gita is saying this. But somewhere in our culture, it has come in, and it has come in for whom? For those who are jad oriented, tamas oriented. And therefore we look up to those people who do such jad, tamasic tapasya, those who torture their body. See, he has not. I have also gone to such person. He was on the top of Arunachala for 7 years. 7 years he sat on top of Arunachala, just under a plastic sheet, because he was living in, like Ravan Maharishi, he was living in the temple, Arunachaleshwar temple, and there they told him every day afternoon 12 o'clock he used to get the prasad from the Lord. The priest used to give him, and that day he went, and the priest said, come after 10 minutes, some VIP is coming. He went after 10 minutes. He said, come another after some time, VIP has not come yet. Third time he went, the pujari, who he doesn't care, he said, bloody hell, what are you here for? Are you here to remember the Lord's name and do tapasya, or are you here only, you are thinking only about when you are going to get food? And he reprimanded that 20-30-year-old boy. And that struck in the right place. Immediately he packed up everything, went. I don't want anything of the society. I don't want anything. I am not going to eat. And he went to the top of the mountain and put a tent there, and he sat. He says, till I don't realize, I will not unlock my legs. And if you go to visit him, I went to visit him, he used to throw stones at us. Only 1 hour you could meet him, 10 to 11. If you come afterwards or come before 10 or after 11, you will get hit by a stone. Because some self-proclaimed disciples, they started supplying him with milk, started supplying with water mixed with herbs from the Arunachal mountain. And he did. I don't know what happened to him afterwards. Narayana Swami. See? Such people, oh, what a great tapasvi. You go to Kumbh Mela, one person standing for last 30 years on one leg. Oh, what a great yogi. And his disciple, because the Guru Maharaj is standing on one leg for last 30 years, so what am I going to do? He put his hand up. And for last 25 years, his hand is up. Now it does, even if he wants to bring it down, it will not come down. Why? Dystrophy. All muscles have wasted. This we call sadhana. Someone who is famished, that ISKCON photograph is there with that very famished, all rib cage is seen and the sinew, all muscles gone. Oi, kya tapasvi hai yaar. That's pathetic. That is not tapasya. What tapasya did our Ravan do? Cutting his head and offering it into the fire. That's also tamasic tapasya. Bhasmasur, when he was doing his tapasya, he did the same. First he cut his limbs, then he cut his head. Then Shivji appeared in front of him. After Shivji appearing in front of him, he didn't ask for salvation. He wanted his wife, Parvati. What are you going to do with this tapasya? When your attention is on the jada vastu, when your attention is on the name and form, then your attention, which means your attention is not on the divine. Recognize. All you have to do is recognize. Nothing needs to be done. Just recognize and shift. Allow the shifting to happen within your mind. A child putting his hand in the fire, some children burn themselves. Some children listen to the parents say, don't do that. If you do that, you will burn yourself. Some children listen, but majority of the children, at least once they will get burnt or they will put their finger into the electric socket and get a shock, and then after that they are wise. Now they have recognized. What they have recognized? That this is dangerous. I should not play with it. Same way, doing tamasic sadhana is dangerous in the sense it is not going to get you the salvation that you are seeking. We are seeking salvation. That's why we are in the 17th chapter, no? And the whole chapter of 17th chapter is about Shraddha, about faith. They suspend breathing and observe fast. So suspend breathing is kumbhak. Observing fast, upvas. Or with heads hanging downwards, they inhale smoke or remain standing in water as cold as ice up to their necks, or tear out their own flesh sitting on a rock or a bank. One Maharaj came, once the Ramakrishna Paramahansa was sitting in Belur Mutt on the banks of in that ashram, if you have been there, and some devotees were there, and laughter was going on, some satsang question answers was going on, and suddenly someone said, hey, look there, look there, look there, and everyone looked. One yogi was crossing the Gangaji, walking on water, and he came, and everyone forgot Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. They ran towards this yogi, and with great respect and reverence they brought him there in front of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. They fell at his feet. Hare, Yogi Maharaj, hare, great yogi, great yogi, great yogi. And when he sat down, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa asked him, friend, how many years did it take you to get this siddhi? To walk over water and cross? He said 25 years. He said in 25 annas, in those times, 25 annas, I crossed the river by boat. "25 years wasted only to prove to this world that I have a great siddhi, that I can walk on water." Some people walk on fire. Some people, they raise their body above the free of gravity, and they are meditating in above the ground. They stop their breath. Some people lie down, come out of body, and then sit in meditation. What is all this? These things happen. No doubt they happen. But that is not our goal. These are all tamasic sadhanas. So here, he says, there was another in Khopoli. You know Khopoli, just outside Bombay? Khopoli Baba is there. I can't remember his name. I got his biography here. I met him also. 2 times I met him. He is from the Nath Sampradaya, same as Jnaneshwar Maharaj. And at a very young age, he went into the jungles, and whoever his guru was, the guru told him. And he did sadhana for 12 years. Every day, 8-9 hours, sitting in water, submerged in water. Only the head is up till here, till the nose. And when I met him the first time, all his toes, all his fingers were eaten away by the fishes. No fingers left, no nails left. Only tapori, goal goal. Lot of siddhis, tamasic sadhana. Some people sit in meditation on a bed of nails. You must have seen it. You go to Kumbh Mela, you'll see all these things. What have you proved? Anyway, these things happen. Then he says, O Dhananjaya, they perform austerities through self-torture for causing harm to others. Or causing harm to others. When you do the black magic, when you do these type of things, animal sacrifice, you are harming other beings, you are harming other life. In the name of your spirituality, you are ready to kill something else. Is that spirituality? A big and heavy boulder dislodged from its position from a mountain rolls down with a crash, gets broken into smithereens, small pieces, and crushes whatever comes in the way. When such staunch, focused, ghor tapasya, with lot of efforts and lot of force is practiced, then anything that comes in the way as an obstacle, here that's what he's saying, just like when this thing is dislodged, then in that speed, in that vague, it destroys everything. If you do pranayam, kundalini, kumbhak and japa also, if you do without having this attitude that it is the inspiration of the Lord which is making it happen, and whatever feeling is there that I am doing it to so that one day this also stops and I merge into the Lord as an offering to the Lord. If this attitude is not there, then when this type of sadhana, kundalini, japa, puja, chanting, etc. is done, and when that is over, and if that energy that is generated as a result of your single pointed focus, if that mind is not surrendered to the divine, because it will get, when you are so focused and so steadfast on what sadhana has to be done, energy will be generated. Single pointedness is what generates the energy within us. And when it is not surrendered to at the altar of the divine, then that energy is looking for some place to exhaust itself. And the moment you stop your sadhana, if the first thought is of anger, all energy will go into anger. If first thought is of food, you will eat like a buffalo. If you go and someone becomes if your jealousy comes, then all that energy will go into jealousy. You don't know what is going to come next. If you don't choose to consciously surrender that energy at the feet of the divine, at the altar of divine, at the altar of the self, in self-contemplation, then that energy is going to go to the first thought that appears in your mind. And when it goes to that first thought, it goes with a vengeance, because suddenly, like when a balloon is filled up with air, you prick, what happens? It doesn't go push, no, it goes पागलों की तरह घूमता है पूरे कमरे में. Same thing happens to us, our mind. The moment we take the lid off the energy, the moment we stop being focused, that very moment the energy takes us for a ride, and we don't know what has hit us then. So we must be very careful. Don't do anything with force. Don't do anything tamasic in this manner, which is detrimental to our sadhana. And this is not to tell this sattvic, rajasic, tamasic tapasya is told so that we recognize that if we are going the wrong way somewhere in our sadhana, let's correct it. Let's change the angle of approach. Let's change the attitude. See? Then he continues in the 261st verse. OV. He says, Devi apaliya ataniya sukhe asataya praniya zinavaya shiraniya ki jatiga किं बहुना हे वो खटी घेऊनी क्लेशाची हातवटी तप निफजे ते किरीटी तामस होय एवं सत्वादिकांच्या आंगी पाडिले तपतीही भागी झाले तेही तुझ चांगी दाविले व्यक्ती आता बोलता प्रसंगा आले म्हणूनी पैगा करू रूप दान लिंगा त्रिविधातया येथ गुणाचे निबोले दानही त्रिविध असे झाले तेची ऐक पहिले सात्विक ऐसे. He says, in the same way, they carry on austerities by tormenting the body in order to outdo persons who are happy and prominent. See, once upon a time, you must have heard me tell this in one of the retreats in the Fiji temple. I told this story. There was a person, a poor person, dedicated to the scriptures, good person, sadhu purush, with wife and children, and he went to a Mahatma, please guide me, I am not even having enough to take care of my family. Even in begging also, when I go for asking for bhiksha, people don't give me, what can I do? He said, you do tapasya, Lord Narayana will help. So he started doing tapasya, meaning meditation, not tapasya, meditation. He sat under a tree. Every day he spent little bit of time in meditation. And even though he is praying to the Lord, but his attention, why is he praying to the Lord? Because he wants goodies for his family. Just like Dhruva Maharaj, he went and sat in tapasya. He left his mother at 7 years old. He wanted to sit on his lap, and his stepmother said, no, you cannot sit on your father's lap. For that you have to take birth from my womb. So he went crying to his mother, and his mother said, yes, that is so true. In this life you cannot sit on your father's lap because you have taken birth from my womb, not from your stepmother's womb. Only her son will sit. Then what can I do? Only Narayan can help. So he said, whole night he was thinking, where is Narayana? Narayana is where is Narayana? Mom told me Narayana will help. So he walked out of the palace. And the moment, what was he seeking? Narayana. Why was he seeking? What was the motivating force? He wants to sit in the lap of his father. He did not go to seek Narayana to merge into him. He wanted to sit in the lap of the father. And naturally, when he went with that intention to know Narayana, immediately when you are focused on your goal, which is divine, then that type of, or whatever goal, the teacher appears in your life. Narad Muni came and he guided him. And eventually Lord came, and when the Lord said, Lord touched his cheek, remember this Bhagavad prayer, Om Yonta Pravishya Mama Vacham Imam Prasuptam Sanjeevayatya Kila Shakti Dharaswadhamnam Anyasha Hastacharana Shravanatvagadin Pranan Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam. This prayer came out of the mouth of Dhruva, who was only 7 years old, when the Lord touched his conch on his cheek. When he opened his eyes, he saw the Lord. Lord said, what do you want? He said, you know you are all knowing, you know. He felt that he should not ask anything from the Lord. But he forgot, that 7-year-old kid forgot, like we also forget. When we do a puja, sometimes we may say, oh, I am not doing puja for anything. But somewhere in the deep subconscious, there is a purpose why you are doing a puja. So even though seeing the Lord, Dhruv did not want anything from the Lord, because now he has the darshan. But Lord has asked him a clear-cut question. What do you want? He could have made the choice. I want to merge into you. But he said, you know. So Bhagavan knows that he wants to sit in his father's lap. Now he has become his father. So he gave him the Dhruvatara, the position in the sky. Permanent position. See? So, they carry on austerities by tormenting the body in order to outdo persons who are happy and prominent. The story before I was telling you was, this Dhruva story came in between again. The story was of that Brahmin who was doing sadhana, and his intention was that my family at least has a proper meal, have some clothes to wear. And as he was meditating, and or doing his japa or whatever the sadhana that Mahatma had told him, and slowly the condition of his family started getting better and better. The next door neighbor became jealous. This fellow is doing nothing, he only sits and meditates, and all the wealth is coming, he's got enough food, enough money, enough clothes, he's repaired his house also, and I'm still the same. And then he one day went and asked, hey man, what are you doing? I don't mind doing the same thing if I can also help my family. He says, yeah, I went to the Mahatma and he told me to do this. Acha, Mahatma told you, if I do it, yeah, maybe you will also get it. That second fellow, the copy master, he also started doing it. His life also started getting better. He also started getting enough food and enough everything. One day, when many years had passed, family life is going on, both of them are sitting under the banyan tree and doing their sadhana every day. Narad Muniji was by chance passing by there. So he asked them, Arey Baba, kya kar rahe ho? They opened their eyes. Narad Muniji, Arey Baap Re. The first Brahmin, he said, Narad Muniji. That means Lord Narayana has sent him with great devotion and bhakti. He fell at his feet. When the second fellow saw the first one doing it, he also fell at his feet. He says, Narad Muni said, I am going to Vaikuntha. You have any message to be sent to Lord Narayana? So the first one said, yeah, there is a message. Can you ask him how much more sadhana I have to do in order to realize Narayana? He said, okay. What about you, Mr. Number 2, Sadhak? He said, ditto, what the first one said. So he went, and after a few months, few days, few weeks, few months, whatever it was, Narad Muniji was again coming by. And the moment both of them saw him, oh, Narad Muniji, aye, बैठिए. Did you get the message, sir? Yes, I got the message. I got a special message for you people. What is the message? The first Brahmin asked. He said, Lord said to tell you that as many number of leaves are there in this banyan tree, that many lives you have to live before you realize. And this message is same for both of you. So the first Brahmin, when he heard this news, immediately he went into ecstasy and the tears started rolling, horripilations on his body. No words would come out of his mouth in that ecstasy. And the meditator number 2, he said, this life also I wasted in meditation. Now that many lives I have to waste in meditation before I realize. That means I can't enjoy this life, and I can't enjoy that many lives, as many leaves are there on this tree. That he got up and went away. And the first one, full of ecstasy, full of gratitude, bhava, shraddha, that Lord answered. And there are only limited number of leaves on this tree. There is a set number. It is not infinite leaves. If there are 10,000 leaves, then 10,000 lives. Hey, he gave me a time that I'm going to realize, I'm going to merge into him. And that bhav made him full of bliss. And his gratitude, his surrender was so complete in that moment that the Lord gave up the future lives and appeared in front of him there and then. This is the sattvic attitude. The other second person's attitude was rajasic attitude. See? So in this way, so here the story I told you, in order to outdo persons who are happy and prominent. So this second meditator was trying to copy the previous first meditator and trying to get all the riches for himself by copying what he was doing. Understand, in spirituality there is no copy and paste. You are the most unique person on this planet. You find your own journey. And your journey you don't decide. Let the Lord decide. Then what should I practice? Let him reveal. When will he reveal? When you think of him. Simple. Then what are we doing studying the scriptures? He is only revealing. Then what you have to practice? Arjuna did not practice. Parikshit did not practice. They were mere alert listeners, changing their attitude, changing their intention, changing their notions of life. That's all needs to change. Yesterday's class, you are thinking that this whole world, what is that? That this whole world is separate from me. Now what can you do to say that this whole world is in me? You can't do anything. Are you going to take one piece of everything in this world and put it back into yourself? You can't. Then you have to just take a disposition. Change your thinking. Change your bhavana. Right now your bhavana is, I am this body and everyone is separate to me. The new bhavana which Ishavasya Upanishad tells you is, I am that Isha. That Isha alone is expressing as Atma. It is the Nimitta Upadan Karan. And he is not other than the self that I am. How is this going to be realized? Be available. Stop thinking. Be available. Not to the world, to the Paramatma. Paramatma doesn't appear or reveal himself by thinking. When you stop thinking, he reveals. And when you stop thinking, you have got two choices. Either go to sleep or get realized. And that opportunity appears to us every night when we go to sleep. Either we can go to sleep when our attention is on body, jada, tamas. We go to ignorance, which is called sleep. But if we remain chaitanya, alert, vigilant, satark, not towards the body, but towards the Atma. Not only towards the Atma, but towards the Atma about which we have heard in satsangs, that this Atma is Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swarup. It's Sarvavyapi. It is Ekameva Dvitiya. With these thoughts, when that last thought is about to merge and the mind is going to become empty, let that last thought be that of the self rather than that of the body or of ignorance. See? So that you have to practice. And what is to practice? You have to just be alert towards the thoughts. Thoughts are coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. Don't become the thoughts. Thoughts are coming in the mind and going away. It's an instrument. You know they are coming. Choose what type of thoughts are going to come. You. See? So by your attitude, by your disposition, you can change it from tamas to rajas, rajas to sattva. Or from tamas you can come straight to sattva. You will come to sattvic disposition only when you accept that the Lord is the creator and Lord is the whole universe. The material out of which the whole universe is made is the Lord alone. Then you will have reverence towards the Lord. Then you will not stop thinking about Lord. It will become natural. Because now you are committed. What has made you to commit to your husband or wife? All you did was one varmala. All you did was one certificate. Now they are married. How do you know that you are the child of your parents? Only a birth certificate. Someone has written so and so, son of so, child of so and so on this date and this time. You have any proof? Do you have any proof? No, I look like my father, I have the habits like my father, I speak like my father, my hair are like my father. That is not the praman by which you can prove you are a child of someone. Ravan was also a son of a rishi, but had no qualities of a rishi other than single pointedness. But that single pointedness, that tapasya that he did, like his father, he also was very great tapasvi, well versed in scriptures. He was a Brahmin, a Bhargava Brahmin. But no qualities of sadhu. Only rajasic and tamasic tapasya. What is in it for me and what is others is mine. Everything beautiful is mine. How can Kuber, my cousin brother, have Pushpak Viman? No, I got more power. I'll challenge him and I'll take away the Pushpak Viman. Took it. How can the most beautiful girl in the whole world, Sita Maya, how can she be Ram's? No, she should be mine. Okay, I'll go and get her. This is tamasic because attention is on jada. Attention is on inert objects. In this way, so hopefully we have understood the difference between sattvic tapasya, rajasic tapasya and tamasic tapasya. And now Bhagavan says to Arjuna, O Arjuna, that which is evil and and full of what is that? Arjuna, that which is evil and full of self-torture is tamasic austerity. Thus, I have explained to you the austerities of three kinds based on the three gunas. I shall tell you, as the occasion demands, how charity is also of the three kinds because of the three gunas. Now hear about the sattvic charity, that is dana. Sattvic dan, rajasic dan and tamasic dana. Three types of dana. Again I repeat, when we are talking about the sattvic tapasya, it is based on shraddha, surrender. The rajasic tapasya is based on the motivating factor behind the tapasya is what am I going to gain out of it. And tamasic tapasya is self-torture and torture others also. Now we go to the 20th shloka. Datavyamiti yaddanam Datavyamiti yaddanam Diyate nupakarine Deshe kale cha patre cha Deshe kale cha patre cha Taddanam satvikam smrutam Taddanam satvikam smrutam. Together. Datavyamiti yaddanam Diyate nupakarine Deshe kale cha patre cha Taddanam satvikam smrutam. Dana given, alms, charity given with the idea that it ought to be given to one who cannot return the favor without any expectation in return is sattvic dana. Then to one who cannot return the favor at the right place and time and to a deserving person, that charity is known to be of sattvic quality. See? In sattvic danam, the importance is not to whom it is to be given. Yes, here it says, no doubt it says, at the right place, at the right time, to a deserving person. No doubt. But we'll go one step further. Who wants to do the charity? I want to do the charity. Am I doing this charity to show my superiority to the other person? Do I want to give to someone else to show them they are below me, that they don't have the capacity, to suck away their inspiration, to suck away their capacity and ability by giving them the danam? If any of these type of feelings are getting created in the person to whom you are donating, then it is not sattvic. When you in sattvic dan, the importance is on I, that it is my need to give. It is not the other person's need to take. Because God has created the creation, God is taking care of everyone. but I want to collect merit. I want to do punya. It is right to give dana. So it is my need, just like it is my need to speak on Bhagavad Gita. It is not your need. Some of you were there now. You were not there before. Now you are there. Tomorrow you will not be there. Who cares? I'll keep speaking to myself. Why? Because it is my need to speak. That my mind loudly keeps contemplating on these verses. Because the first person who's listening is my mind. If you come to listen, then मैं तुम्हारी गुद्दी पकड़ के लेके आऊँ, आके बैठो, I will teach you Bhagavad Gita. Not like that. But if it is my need to give, then I will come with respect. I will come with reverence to whom I have to give. I will make sure that I am anonymous if possible. And if not anonymous, I give it in such a way that the other person doesn't feel low about himself or herself. See? I give it in such a way that I am not recognized, that I have done a great job. You see? Then it is Sattvic Dan. In Sattvic Dan, Dan is charity. Charity is for showing, to come to this disposition that Lord has given me in abundance and I want to share this abundance with the world. It is my need. He has given me abundance, I want to share it in this abundance with the world. It is my need. It is not the need of the world. Government is taking care. They are giving them money. They are giving them food. They are giving them accommodation. But if I want to help, then I should not come across as a person who is doing a favor and making the other person feel indebted to me, that this person has given it. You see? Then it is Sattvic Dan. Now let's see what Jnaneshwar Maharaj says. तरी स्वधर्मा आतौते जे जे मिळे आपण याते ते ते दीजे बहुते सम्मान योगे. ट्यून गलत हो गई, पता नहीं क्या ट्यून है. झालया सुबीज प्रसंगू पडे क्षेत्र वाफेचा पांगू तैसाची दानाचा हा लागू देखतसे. अनर्घ्य रत्न हाता चढे तै भागाराची ओढी पडे. दोन्ही झाली तरी न जोडे लेते आंग. परीसण सुहृद संपत्ती हे तीनही एकी मिळती. जे भाग्य धरी उन्नती आपुल्या विषयी. तैसे निफजावया दान जय सत्वासी ये संवाहन. तै देश काळ भाजन द्रव्य ही मिळे. Jnaneshwar Maharaj says, he gives with due regard something in charity out of income earned by him. He is not giving money that which has been misappropriated, that which has been stolen. See, that money, that wealth which has been accrued through hard work, sincere hard work, that money, when it is given in dan, then it is beneficial. Income earned by him by performing his duty towards home, towards society, towards nation, towards gods, towards himself, Adhyatma also. While doing in that atmosphere of his mind, where he is an ideal citizen or moving towards that, living a disciplined life, a hygienic life, a self-controlled life, working through, earning through hard work, and that money, when it is given in charity, uh, that is Sattvic Dan. Sometimes if good seed is available, there is dearth of good soil and water. Good seed is available, but soil and water is not available. We want to give Dan, but there is no person available. See, there is no person available. Similarly, in the case is the case in regards to charity also. If a precious stone comes to hand, one is in want of gold for making a socket for it, and if both are available, a beautiful body to wear that ornament is lacking. Only good luck brings together a festive occasion, the visits of dear ones and wealth. In the same way, when the sattva quality comes to help charity, there assemble automatically suitable place and time, wealth, and a person fit to receive the gift. Understand one thing, in whatever, whether it is sattvic yajna, sattvic tapasya, now sattvic ahar, and now sattvic what is this? Sattvic dana. When you come to sattva, you don't have a desire anymore. Because if there is a desire, then it will become rajasic, remember. But in sattva, what is happening? Everything comes about together. Because your life, when you come to sattva, your life is geared towards the divine. Your life is geared towards purification and in the contemplation of divine. And now you are not thinking, I have to do dana, I have to do tapasya. No, tapasya happens. It's an inner thrust which pushes you to do certain sadhana. It's the will of the Lord, not because you desired. This speaking, this satsang that is going on is not because I desire. It is by the will of the Lord. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. If it happens, it happens. See? There is no len-den here that if I give one lecture, you have to pay so much money. Nothing like that. There is no barter. There is no expectation that you listen or you don't listen. Why I listen? There is no expectation whether you understand or don't understand also. Then why are you speaking? I am not speaking. I am watching, speaking is happening. And as long as I am watching, till then, there is no attachment to this talking that is going on. Because talking is happening. It's a phenomena. Similarly, dana is also like that. If a person comes to your house, can you please give me some food? नहीं नहीं, आज टाइम नहीं है, कल आना. ऐसे हुआ है. I have called people here. Hey, I am coming over. स्वामी जी आज नहीं, I am busy today. Can you come tomorrow? हो जाता है. मैं तो भिक्षा के लिए जा रहा था. भिक्षा कोई अपॉइंटमेंट लेके थोड़ा ना भिक्षा होती है. Bhiksha doesn't happen by taking appointment. You just go. See? So when we are in this sattvic disposition, then the right place, the right time and the right person automatically come about, because if you have the abundance and if you need something to give, that is not need also, if there is something to be shared, then Lord will make sure that person comes. Whatever you can share with that person. Now, naturally, he's not going to send any person to me for money because I don't have the money. Then who is he sending? Those who want to listen. He's sending me them. So this body is doing this job. Another person, he is a doctor. So who will the Lord send to him? Patients only. But are we interacting with the patients to increase their inspiration and faith in life that everything is fine, or making them dependent on medicine? On the repeat business chahiye bhaiya. Is that our attitude? Is our talk making you dependent on us? That's why you'll see many times I keep saying that. Today also I said that you are the most unique person and you need to find your own journey unfold within you. It is not copy paste. Knowledge is the same. But this knowledge unfolding within you is absolutely unique. The circumstances, and for that you don't have to do anything special. You are at the right place at this very moment in your life with the people that are required to press your buttons in order for you to unfold. And when will the unfoldment take place? When you do not react to the pressing of the button. You remain neutral. Or learn from the experience. Whatever life is throwing. So here Jnaneshwar Maharaj is saying that where are we? If a precious stone comes in hand, then we want a gold chain to put that stone in. If we have a gold chain with the stone, then we want a beautiful neck to be put around, and to where the ornament is lacking. Only good luck brings together a festive occasion, the visit of dear ones and wealth. In the same way, when the sattva quality comes to help charity, there assemble automatically the suitable place, the suitable time, and the wealth, and the person fit to receive the gift. See, Bali Maharaj had all the wealth. He was doing the Havan to get the position of Indra. He wanted to give Dan. He had made an appointment. He had made a declaration. Anyone who comes and asks for whatever, I am the Lord of the earth and neither world. I can give anything. Vaman Bhagwan came. He said, give. And at that time, that King Bali even disregarded his teacher, Shukracharya. And when the Lord said, where do I keep my third step? That great King Bali, the grandson of Prahlad, he said, sir, please put it on my head. I was too arrogant in offering you the charity that anyone can, that you can take. I thought your feet are small and three steps. When you asked, I laughed at you in arrogance. That this child is asking only three steps of land. But in 2 steps you have taken everything from me. Now I can't give that which is not mine. So what is mine? Ego is mine. So I offer my ego at your feet. And he gives his. See, that attitude. So he was, yes, arrogance may have been there little bit, but it was not, that was more rajasic in one sense, but it turned into sattvic towards the end. See? So then here Jnaneshwar Maharaj says that all these things, place, time, wealth, and the person, all these, they come together by the divine providence. You don't have to work out, you don't have to search. If you want to give, the person will become available, the opportunity will become available, and what to give also will become available. A pure intention is required, that's all. Pure intention is required. Jnaneshwar Maharaj continues, he says, तरी आधी तव प्रयत्न, क्या टाइम हो गया? ओके, we'll stop here. 271st will start next week. We are in the Sattvic charity. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.